from the steep cliffs of Plymouth to the skyline encircling the sea, where the early morning mist forms in perfect harmony.
A snippet of one of his pieces dedicated to Tobago. Mr. Franchot Moore's passion for poetry began outside his family's home when he wrote his first poem, inspired by ants. But his drive to tell stories about Tobago through poetry developed after his interaction with a Tobagonian in the United States.
So a short, dark fella, keeping up the ball and exercising real nice skills, So I walk up to him. I said, my brother, you from Africa? He said, no, Tobago. I said, you from Tobago? I said, from Trinidad. He looked at me and he said, Trinidad. I said, yeah. He said, man, you sound like a Tobagonian, man. And that's something hit me right there because before I left Trinidad, I always wanted to come to Tobago. And when I leave at 14, I didn't get the opportunity.
Mr. Moore later returned home to gain inspiration.
I came back to Trinidad to write my books. The ones currently on Amazon, the 4 of them, I wrote them in Trinidad, and I came to Tobago to edit them. But I came here especially to get the peace and the tranquility and the love, and the memory of Cecil Chase. And I ask every single person that I've met in Tobago about Cecil Chase, and nobody could seem to find just Cecil Chase.
Tobago's story is illustrated in the pieces this poet creates.
I try to highlight the history, the geography, the topography, the culture, the love of the people of Tobago as I experience it. I mean, there are certain things that I experience of a challenging nature also, and I wrote about that in a poem called A Lime and a Pump City.
Tobago's icons are also featured in his poetic collections.
I was inspired by Dr. J.D. Elder. That is why I studied anthropology. The World Court is the brainchild of a Tobagonian, A.N.R. Robinson. These are things I celebrate. E.P.T. James, the man who have the foundation in the labor movement and the Port of Trinidad and Tobago. Calypso Rose, my dear friend, Lord Nelson.
Mr. Moore told us in one of his books there are 24 poems and a narrative dedicated to Tobago.
I have a poem called Tobago, and it's a very sentimental poem because part of the poem say, and the bones of many foreign young men lay buried on this island. Today we live in prosperity, love, peace, and true prosperity on this beautiful island called Tobago, etc., etc., etc. And then I have certain poems called The Flight of the Flight of the Pelican, The Dive of the Pelican, Tobago Sundown, Tobago Sunset, all the things that highlight the beauty of Tobago.
Thus far, Mr. Moore has published 6 books.
Understanding the power of your subconscious mind. And then the next book is called Reinventing Poetry. And I have another book called Reinventing Poetry and Airbrush Art. I have certain artists who, as a matter of fact, the cover of that book was painted by a young man in Trinidad, one of the great airbrush artists in Trinidad, Nizam Jazz Aziz.
After 55 years of living abroad, Mr. Moore is returning home and explained he will be continuing his work across Trinidad and Tobago. He hopes to share his works with Tobago schools, including his collection of mantras.
Like everything I read, everything I hear comes out easily and effortlessly when I write. And all these type of mantras, that is good for, let us say, setting aside half an hour in a classroom and having these children repeat these mantras.
Poet Franchot Moore also gave us words of encouragement in the way he knows best.
When it seems that all friends are lost, not a sane voice around to share your thoughts, and everywhere you turn, there is no support. Allow the voice within to resonate. Never give up. Never give up.
I am Carissa Douglas for TTT News, and I love Tobago.